What's up guys, it's Drac, and today we are reviewing the Nerf rival Perses. So this is the first production model of the Perses in North America outside of like toy fairs and showrooms like that. So this is very, very exciting, and as an added bonus, it's the correct color, eh? But very excited to have my hands on this, very excited to get to play with it. I've spent a few days in my workshop kind of messing around with it, trying to make sure that we can make this review properly for you. And I'm going to give full disclosure, I have no idea where this came from. It showed up in a box. Super grateful to whoever decided to dispatch this my way so that we could get this review out to you early, because we are uniquely positioned right now where this review is relevant even though it's missing something very important. So one of the coolest features about the Perses, and I'm going to get this out of the way early on, is that it comes with a rechargeable battery. And that's phenomenal because normally when Hasbro releases these mega expensive Nerf blasters, they are way too expensive. And then you have to go out and spend another $10, maybe $15 on D cells or C cells so that you can actually power the blaster up. Not the case with the Perses. For $100 you get a rechargeable battery, you get a charger for that battery, and you get presumably 50 rounds. So this is a really sweet overall kind of production package. For $100 you get what I believe to be the best rival blaster of all time. Like, it is everything that I kind of wanted the Nemesis to be in terms of its compact form factor and function. It's everything that the Prometheus wishes it was in terms of its decent ergonomics and ambidextrous controls. You can actually wield this blaster. It's super comfortable, super compact in one-handed mode. And like, that's the meat and potatoes of this review, is how many rounds does it actually hold? It claims a 50-round tray. How comfortable is it? Obscenely. It's obscenely comfortable. A foregrip up here, like an AFG, would be fantastic. And I'll probably add one. It looks like we have 4 notches of rival Picatinny. I think this is more designed to be a one-hand SMG and use this like a vector style grip over the battery, and then maybe put a flashlight here. Definitely no space for a red dot because you have this monstrous tray up top. My only complaint about this blaster is I wish that the tray opened this way. If the tray, ergonomically, it's fine either way. Opening it this way is better because if most people are right-handed, so your left hand comes in, you never have to change your grip, you pop it open like this, you start pouring rounds into this hopper tray. Unfortunately, that means that you're reaching over the ledge if you're putting rival rounds from like a pod into here, and that's exactly how I used this at Jared's Epic Nerf Battle in the early part of this year, and man, was theirs under lock and key, and it was the wrong color anyway. So super thrilled to have this. I want to talk about some of the features. So on this side, you've got this funky charging handle. Again, I wish there was a cleaner way to do this, just because when this blaster's slung and you're right-handed, that claw is going to be digging into you Apollo handle style if it's in the front, and it's going to catch on all of your pockets and tactical gear. Now, it doesn't help that I'm wearing Katanica shorts, so I've got lots of little grommets and hooks for it to latch onto. But overall, not the end of the world, because it's a very useful feature. Not that people will have multiple hoppers for these. There's no feasible way to store this hopper on the body, but the pop-out tray means that it'll be ridiculously easy to clean out any jams in here, access your conveyor belt, make sure everything is clean and clear before you reload in. And this is a very clean system. You can load quickly this way through a huge aperture, no fumbling about, just pull your pod, brrr, in it goes, and slam it home. It was very efficient in Epic Nerf Battle. That kind of battle really benefits the whole like dump 50 rounds, brrr. I'll see if I have any footage of it. I know I've got some sweet footage from Jared's Epic Nerf Battle. It's my favorite. I'll put it here.
There will be an opportunity to meet you later on tonight. So you
Anyway, the only other controls I want to talk about are you have your standard rival safety. That locks the rev switch. Up is fire, down is safe. Then you've got this knob up here, which is brilliant design. This is a huge improvement from other flywheel rival blasters in the past. This button goes down and forward, and you can see you have complete access into the flywheels there. If you've got a jam, you can push a screwdriver through, you can figure all of that out, and then when you come back, it locks back into place. That doesn't move at all until you want it to. That's down and forward, very nifty, a feature that will certainly be kept. Then you've got a whole host of controls down here. You have to pull this down and then pull this down, and that releases your battery, which is always spring-loaded coming out. I'm probably going to design, because I'm missing the battery, a 3D printed sort of battery tray that I can hide a 3S LiPo in for the modification guide. And that'll be really exciting. I'll go ahead and launch that file on my Patreon. I'll go ahead and throw it up on Thinkiverse, and anybody who wants to use something similar can just have that, as opposed to having to scrape and claw to carve out the original battery, which sounds honestly pretty dangerous given the nickel content in that battery. You've got a sweet little iron sight up here. It's not the most effective thing in the world, but it was nice. There's nothing in the back, and when you're chambered like this, it does give you a very small waypoint up top. But I want to take it outside. I want to put it over the chronograph. If you're wondering what this Prometheus battery is doing over here, for the purposes of this honest review, I am going to be utilizing this battery to power this at exactly 9.6 volts, which is, according to the instructions, exactly what the Perses battery is going to use. Now, the similarities between the Prometheus and the Perses in terms of performance and power are unavoidable. It's a very similar system, just better ergonomics and half the price overall. But real quick, we have this Dart Zone tray out because they're compatible in every way. It's a really good way for us to determine how many rounds this thing will actually hold in its tray. So we're going to go ahead and start loading it up inside, actually, since we can't fire it inside. The Dart Zone tray, having 50 rounds here, is super convenient. Alright guys, so that is the hopper with 50 rounds in it, and honestly, while I can find a way to squeeze like one more in there, and maybe you could fit a couple more in this other line, I think that this one is the first of these kinds. Like the Nemesis is, if I recall, Chaos held an extra like 8, the Nemesis held an extra like 20, and then the Prometheus held an extra like 50. I think that this one's being very honest. I think that you pay for that very thin profile. It'll hold about 54. But that's very tight. I think that's as much as you want to push it, because this is only held in with like a tiny amount of tension. So if you overload it too much, it could definitely pop open if jostled or messed about with. So for the record, that means that I think that you should load your paintball pods with only 50 rounds so that you can just load them into this and not have any spill out extra, because it will only hold 50. But that's super cool, very ergonomic. Like I said, let's take it outside, let's put it over the chronograph, and then we'll give you some very important thoughts as well as justify why we're doing this review without a battery. Alright guys, let's take a look at the performance. This is actually a complete and safe circuit. It's just a little fragile and I mean, it is what it is, guys. We ghetto rigged this to this so that it would work. Alright, so with no further ado, let's put a few over the chronograph. Let's put a few down range. I don't think I have to hold the battery for this segment, but I will in a minute. 93, 87, 94, 94, 93, 97, 100, hey-oh, century mark, 90, 98, 89, 97. All right, so like a lot of flywheel blasters, it seems like the first round is performing very well. It seems like the subsequent rounds are about a 10 FPS drop. Of note, I want to say that if you do overstuff it with those 4 rounds, look at what's happened here. These are all suspended in the top, and they will eventually, yeah, we're not actually firing right now. So what we're gonna have to do is open it so that they spill in like that and load in. So this might legitimately be a 50 round capacity blaster, a little moving and a little shaking required. So let's go ahead and fire it down range, just kind of get a feel for it. Overall, just a really, really solid rival powerhouse. Now, I'll let you guys be the judge, but it seems like rate of fire is lower than the Prometheus, which is a little bit of a disappointment, but hey, what can you do? And with that, we're having to shake those last few rounds in. We'll go ahead and try for accuracy here. We'll see if we can hit the chronograph with any of them. I didn't really set up a target, and I don't really want to move this setup too much. And that's it. So traditional rival accuracy, but hey, it's a spray and pray SMG vector inspired kind of super cool thing. So let's yank our ghetto wires out. We don't want to have any sort of live connections while we're doing this part. But overall, I think that this thing is sweet. Why did I make this video with a janky battery setup? Well, first off, the results are good. So I wanted you guys to have that knowledge, but I wanted you to have that knowledge as soon as possible. So while I will have an Amazon and a Walmart link to this in the description box below, because it should be going live in the next month or so for sales in North America, the thing that I really wanted to make this video for was we have a lot of really interesting stuff happening in our hobby, in our space right now, with Dart Zone Pro releasing just weeks ago and the pre-sale for that being half gone already. I wanted people to be able to make the most informed decision they could as soon as they possibly could. So what a tremendous gift that this randomly showed up and allowed us to put what's clearly the best non-Nerf offering of the year up against what is easily the best Nerf blaster offering of the year, at least so far. Hasbro has a really bad habit, or in some ways an amazing habit. It's a good thing. It's just frustrating from a consumer perspective. Hasbro will have new releases before Christmas, almost guaranteed, and one of them will be crazy sweet, because it always is. But this is the best thing that Hasbro's working on right now. It's insanely cool, and I can't wait to crack it open. But with those pre-orders ticking by, I felt like people who were looking for like a $100 plus blaster this year needed to have all of the stats, all of the perspective that I could possibly lend to make the most informed decision that they possibly could. And that is what we are on here on YouTube to do for you guys. We are here to be your #1 most consistent Nerf source for all things competitive, casual, goofy, and fun. And it's just an honor and a privilege to serve this community in that way. So I'm super stoked about the Perses. I'm so excited about it, in fact, that I just can't wait. I'm gonna have to crack it open. I'm gonna have to give it the full Lord Draconical mod guide. So if you want to see the internals for the Perses, make sure you check out my Twitch. This Sunday, I will be on Twitch live this Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 4 p.m. Pacific, and I will be cracking open the Perses live for you guys. We'll take it apart. We'll see what makes it tick. We'll figure out what's up with the rate of fire. We'll hang out. We will have an absolutely amazing good time. And then at some point, once it's modified and my Dart Zone Pro modification that I'm working on right now are fully complete, we will put them head to head against one another in some sort of like modified mayhem rumble battle or something. But don't forget, twitch.tv/vampiredrac this Sunday, 7 p.m. Please turn on my notifications. Please hit the bell. Please subscribe to my channel. I love making this content for you guys. Much love. Nerf on. Drac out.